recordings. So this is the question I want us to start with as far as EPS is concerned. So let's read. Allow me to read the question. Allow me to read the question. It says, Dakika Limited has prepared its consolidated financial statements for the year to 30th September 2019, extract of which are shown below. Also provided below are extract of the consolidated financial statements for the year to 30th September 2018. Year ended to 30th September 2019 and 2018. So profit before interest and tax. Profit before interest and tax is also known as operating profit. So when somebody mentions operating profit, it is always the EBIT. You call it EBIT in finance, earnings before interest and tax. Then we have finance cost, we have tax charge, ordinary dividends paid, preference dividends paid, profit attributable to the non-controlling interest. You have also obtained the following information in respect of the company's share capital. So the information we obtained, there was ordinary share capital as at 1st October 2017 was 15 million, made up of shillings 5 per value. Dakika Limited issued some 500,000 ordinary shares at full market value on 1st January 2018. Dakika Limited also made a rights issue of 2 new ordinary shares for every 10 ordinary shares held. The rights price per share was 42.5. Market value per share at that date was 48. Dakika Limited also had 1,006,000 shillings 10 per value non-redeemable preference shares as at 1st October 2018. Required 1, the basic earnings per share for the year ended 30th September 2018, then the basic earnings per share for the year ended 30th September 2019. So you have to complete 2018 is when you go to 2019. So how is our financial year? I can see they are ending on 30th September 2018. So they must start when? 1st October 2017. So always start from the formula. So let's start from the formula. Charles. So write the formula. We said formula is pounds once. So start with the formula always. One other thing hapa si. Akipiga picha. Chafu. Hiyo yote ni hapa. Let's start with the spouse computation. So for profit you can compute for those 2 years. There is no problem. Shares, you so our pause we can determine for the 2 years at once to save on time. So 2020. It was 20? 2019, 2018. So we want to know the profit going to the ordinary shareholders of the parent company. Ordinary shareholders of the parent company. So from the arrangement, check that arrangement. From the arrangement, we were given, actually we'll just start it the way it is. We'll start with the profit before interest and tax, tutoe finance cost, tutoe tax, So let's start with it the way it is. So right there, PBIT, profit before interest and tax. So start with profit, reported profit before interest and tax. How much? 8830. 7012. Then you less finance cost, which is interest. Interest comes first. So less finance cost. So finance cost is 1045. Then 987. So what you will get after that is profit before tax. Finance cost is the interest, so you'll get profit before taxation. So how much? 77. Good. Then bring tax. So less tax charge. So tax charge is 17, 18, 12, 64. So what you get is PAT, profit after tax. Profit after tax. Get profit after tax. So profit after tax, we have 6067, followed by 61. After tax, you remember from group, this profit after tax in consolidation we share with who? NCI and the members of the parent. So first, you pay NCI. So less profit to NCI. Can you check NCI? So NCI should come first. If NCI is more, profit attributable to NCI is 180, 160. So attributable to the members of the parent. Members of the parent will be how much? 50? 5887.
4601.
4601. So members of the parent, they may be two, the preference and ordinary. So who comes first? Preference. So you less preference dividends. So preference dividends comes first. Preference dividends comes first. So that is 60-60. So 60-60. 60-60. So what you get, you say attributable profit. Now that is the powers. Profit attributable to ordinary shareholders. So to ordinary, so you don't subtract ordinary dividends. Well, whatever remains now, so how much?
58, 27.
58?
27.
27. 45, 41. So that is the first phase. That is the first phase for determining profit attributable. 527, 58, 27, 45. So that is the profit attributable to ordinary shareholders, which is our numerator. So we have to go to the denominator computation. So have one-os. So one-os you cannot compute. You cannot compute for the 2 years comparatively like that. You have to finish 2018, then you transit to 2019. So let's go to one-os. One-os. So one-os we have to finish 2018 first. It took place when the moods. Rights issue, it took place in which year? 2018 or 19 financial year?
2019.
2019? Yes. The better. So there was no rights issue in 2018. Can you copy this first so that we go to 2018 one-os? I think that's enough. So let's go to 2018 one-os computation. So right there, one-os computation. So one-os. So when there is no rights issue, this is how you go about it. You say debt. Followed by, which I'll pay your format, debt, as many things, details, followed by shares, weight itself, then one-os at the end. So have that. I don't think it's that long, so don't extrapolate the lines that much. So we are working for which year? 2018. You must finish up with 2018 so that you get the closing number of shares we should be taken to 2019. We are ready. So you start with the beginning. The date should be the start of that year. So you check 2018 when it started so that you can know when to kick off. So the financial ends on 30th September 2018. So it means it must start on 1st October. Sorry, 1st October 2017. So details at the beginning of the year, you just say balance brought down. So balance brought down in form of shares. In form of shares. So can you retrace back to the capital structure? You check the number of shares, not the value, but the number of shares which was there at the as at that date. As at that date. Note number? 1. Please check note 1. Note 1, they are saying ordinary share capital as at 1st October 2017 was shillings 15. We want the number of shares, not in shillings. So divide by the par value. 3 million. And they are working in thousands. So when they work in thousands, that is 3,000. And these shareholders, nobody is expected to leave. So it means they will be entitled to earnings for how many months during this year? 12. So the way you bring here 12 over 12, giving you 3. Good. So you proceed with the notes from that note 1 up to where unaona year 2018 inaisha. Yenye naenda the other financial year. The other financial year will start on 1st October 2018. Sindio? Yes, so ukifika hapo unapiga break. Usiroll kwa hiyo ingine. Number 2, Dakika issued some 500 ordinary shares at full market price, market value on 1st January 2018. Sio bado iko within?
Yes.
Yes, so 1st January 2018. Narrations, what do you want us to give the details? You can call it new. So, yeah, new issue. They issued how many new shares? 500. So these people, will they be entitled to earnings for the whole year? No. So check from this date to the year end. How many months are those? 9, from January to 30th September. So, Susan, you can take this one. So that is 9 over 12. So can you weigh the shares? 500 times 9 over 12. What do you get? Number 375. Then we move to the next until you exhaust. Number 3, Dakika also made a rights issue of 2 new ordinary shares. See on the other year. So 2018 ends there. 2018 ends there. So you add for me the 2. The 2 means the number of shares and the weighted. The number of shares and the weighted, so that you can be able to work out this problem. So this is 30 which one? 35, and this is 33.75. So one ounce is 33.75. So hapo chini weka therefore. Roman 1, what did they want? EPS for 2018. So therefore, basic EPS 2018 will be, you check the profits, the profit which we computed. Profit 2018 was 45. So shillings 45, 41. Divide by 1 is 33 what? 75. What do you get? What do you get? Let's do 2 decimal places. So you write shillings 1.35 per what? Per share. So for every share, you are entitled to that. So sharp, maliza hiyo. Wenye wamekuja late, bumu wa fanya haraka. Rula yangu naenda nayo wapi? Yafanya hivi. Let's go to Roman 2. Roman 2, they want the basic EPS for 2019. So right there, 2019. So one was, no. When there is rights issues, then when there is rights issue, you have to do some 2-3 steps. So 2 steps before one was. So you come and say share movement. That's why I share movement. When there is a rights issue, you cannot wait them one off because of the theoretical exercise price. Like an exercise price will have to come in the picture. So you start with share movement. For share movement, what you will do, you just say get details and what? And shares. That is your share movement. You don't weigh them just like that. You will have to incorporate the what? The exercise price. You have to incorporate the exercise price. So you start from the beginning of that year. So this is share movement 2019. 2019 was starting when? 1st October 2018. So details is the balance done what? Balance brought down. Balance brought down. So balance brought down is the closing shares, not one-offs, but the actual number of shares last year. The actual number of shares, 35. So we have 35. Then now go back to where we stopped in the notes, in the additional information. Go back to where we stopped. So where we stopped, we are now in note number 3. The Kika Limited also made a rights what? Issue of 2 new ordinary shares for every 10 ordinary shares held. The rights price per share was 42.5. Market value per share as at the same date was 48. So 1st April. So you say there 1st April 20 which one? 19. So 1st April 2019. What happened? There was rights what? There was a rights issue. So rights issue, you check how many shares did you get through the rights issue. So they are giving on what basis? 2 for every 10. So they are giving on the basis of 2 for every 10. And how many shares are we having right now as we speak? 35. We have 35. So 2 for every 10 by 35. So we are having 700. 700. Proceed. Proceed. Number 4, the Kika Limited also had this non-redeemable number preference idea. So that is all. So can you add for me the shares? Shares will be 40. 42. So before you weigh them, kindly determine the what we call ex-rights price. Determine ex-rights price. Determine ex-rights price. In which case, ex-rights price is the average. And we check what we said about the ex-rights price in the last class. The average market value of those shares. So what you will do, you check is very easy, like a maths. So theoretical, TERP, that is the ex-rights price. Ex-rights price. You want to calculate the ex-rights price, that is the average market price. Ayo lazima umakiwe. So ex-rights price, you check the basis. They are getting what new? How many new ordinary shares? The basis. So they are getting 2 new. Yeah, they are getting 2 new for every old. We call them old number held. Take a 2 old. All the ones which were there before. So they are getting 2 new ordinary shares for every 10 held. So the two new at what price? 10, the old ones were at what price? So the price must be set there. So, two new shares for every 10 held. The rights price was 42.5. So these new ones they are giving us are valued at 42.5 each. But what was the market price of the old ones? Market value as at the same date was 48. So the old which you are having in our hands on that date, the price was 48. So the two new 42.5 times that you get 85 plus this one is 40. So this shareholder will end up having 12, and 12 will have a value of 565. Therefore, ex-rights price is always defined as the average market price. So you come here and say, ex-rights price will therefore be 565 divided by 12, giving us 47.08. That is the theoretical ex-rights price. Yes, correct. And so now let's go to the weight, one-oz. Check the formula I gave you for calculating one-oz. Whenever there is a rights issue, how do we calculate one-oz? So let's calculate one-oz. So one-oz remember, there are some shares which were there before the rights issue. So the shares which were there before rights issue are these ones here. Before rights issue, shares were 35. And these 35 are what was taken to the stock market and subjected to the rights. So you will come here and say, ordinary shares before rights issue was 35 times, though I will explain it for the first time myself here. You will take the fair value, don't like this, fair value over the ex-rights price, and reason is this. This 35, they were presented to the stock market at the ex-rights price. That is the price they intended to give the rights, 47.08. But the actual day when now the rights were being given, the price was, the actual price on that date was 48. So you have to adjust for that difference. So we normally take the fair value, you take the fair value before the rights issue, divide by the theoretical. Theoretical is the intended price when they want, at which they wanted to issue those rights. But the actual day they were trading at 48. So you just take as a fraction. You say 35 is this. What about the 48? Then you adjust. So you take the fair value, which is 48. You divide by theoretical, which is 47.08. Times the period. Weigh them up to that date. The period before the rights issue. The rights issue took place on 1st April. So count from the beginning of the year up to 1st April. How many months? 6 months. October to December, 3 plus 3, 6 months. So times 6 over 12. Then, no, hakuna then, kwanza nipatie hii. You will join so that they join with the rights. Then we wait for the remaining period. So you just know you take the fair value over the theoretical. What other position or it is presented at this. So 48 divided by 4707 times 0.5 times 35. That one comes to 1784. Oh, this is 1784.2 there. Then after the rights issue, we have how many shares after rights issue? 40, 42. Then this 42, weigh them for the remaining period to the year end. Remaining period is how many months? 6 months. Remaining period is 6 months, which is 20 what? 21. So the weighted average is that one there. Ukishika hiyo ya rights issue, you are good to go with EPS. There are 2 ways of determining that. This one is the easiest. 3884. Point what? 2. Therefore, basic EPS 2019 will be, what was the profit? What was the profit? 58. 58.27 divided by 1 which is 3884.2. This one is likely to give us 1.5 per watt per share. Like that. Can you observe? If there is a question, you ask before we proceed. That is it. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Check for me something like a very small question. 2016. A small question in 2016, November 2016. November 2016. Which question? Question 4B. November 2016, question 4B. Which page? Huh? 105. Yes, check that question. Question 4B is quite small. Question 4B. Study that question. If possible, you can even start. November 2016, question 4B. Unajita nani? Jambo. Aya, soma. Read what is required. Then do the necessary. That is the easiest of all. So we start. So we kick off. Which year? You want EPS in which year? The first one is 2013. So kwanza formula. Formula must always be written. So 2013, 20, 14 and 20, which one? 15. Shillings are in millions. So profit, just one of it, it's more than a year. So here they are giving us which profit? Net profit after tax. So they are giving us PAT to be 30 million, to be 38, and this one to be what? 45. Was there preference dividends to toy? So it means these are the powers. These are the powers. So let's get one of 2013. So one of 2013 will be, rights issue is present. In which year? 14 katikati. So date, details, shares. When there is no rights issue, unachapa mpaka mwisho. Rights issue ndio mine. So the year is starting when? 1st January. 1st January 2013. Sure. So details, balance brought down. How many shares were there in 2013 at the start? The start of 2013. Not to on 1st February 2014, a rights issue. Number 3, before the rights issue, the number of shares outstanding was 5 million. That should be the opening, because the rights issue took place almost the beginning of 2014. So it means the 5 was because they have said shares before. So even if they talk at 2013. So 2013, 5. 12 over 12, 5. Question. Therefore, basic EPS 2013 will be the profit, which is 30, divided by 5, giving you shillings how much? 6 per share. Let's go to 2014. Let's go to 2014. So 2014, there was a rights issue. So you start by saying share movement. There's always 3 steps. When there's rights issue, you start by saying share movement, because theoretical will have to be captured. So share movement, you just say date, details, then shares. You don't weigh them at that stage. You will have to check the exercise price. So date, you have to start from the beginning of that year. Of course, that year starts on 1st January. Balance brought down. The shares you closed with last year, there were how many shares? 5. Correct. Then there was a rights issue on which date? 1st of February. There was rights issue. On what basis? 1 new for every 5. And we are having 5. Yes, so that one through the rights issue we are getting I hope I'm going to communicate with 14 anymore. So that is 6 after the rights issue. So I want you to get for me the ex-rights price. Get for me the ex-rights price. You can check what we did in the other question. Then you work it. What is your ex-rights price? 10. What was the basis? 1 for every 5. So 1 for every, before the rights issue, the number of shares and the last quotation was this. Fair value of the shares before the exercise was 11. So 1 new. 5, so that is 5. And 5 times that. At 10. Exercise price imekuja ngapi? Online hakuna mtu ananipea answer. Basi ndio hiyo sasa. Exercise price ni ngapi? 35 point. 10. Are you sure? Yes, it is 10. One new at what price? For every what help? So 5 old were at what price? 11. Giving you. This person will have, and the 6 will have a value of 60. Therefore, X right's price is the average. So X right is 60 divided by 6. What about 1.8? Now let's weigh them. So to weigh, check ordinary shares before the rights issue. So before the rights issue, it was 5. This 5 is what we presented in the stock market at X rights price. But the actual market price on the last day of quotation on that day was how much? 11. So you take times 11 over what? 10. Times the period up to the date of the rights. Period up to the date of rights. Rights took place on 1st of February. So how many months? So the 1 month. January to February, that is 1 month. Yes? That's number 4. The last date to exercise the rights was 1st March. So I'll have to make sure. If you don't, you will forfeit. Yeah, Unit condition. This one comes to 0.46. After rights issue, we have 6. So these 6 weigh them for the remaining period. How many months? To the end of the year. How many months? 11. So you should 1. 12 minus 1 is 11. How many shares? 5.5. So add 5.96. Therefore, basic EPS. What was the profit 2014? Profit for 2014 was 38. So you take 38 divided by 5.96. You get how much per share? 6.38 per share. 6.38 per share. Ukishika rights issue uko tu sawa. Let's go to 2015. 2015, what happened? Let me check that 2015 keenly. What happened in 2015, which is going to be of great concern? (2015) Is there anything? No. So it means the shares we closed with last year is what we will open with. So there is no need of wasting time. So basic 2015 will be, what is the profit 2015? 45. Then just take the shares we closed with in 2014. 2014 we closed with how many shares? We closed with 6. Yeah, so 6 you will multiply by 12 over 12, which will remain what? 6. Shillings how much per share? 7.5 per share. 7.5 per share. Kisha. All right, for me a subtopic. Write a subtopic. Restatements. Restatement of EPS. Restatement of EPS. Restatement of EPS. So that's going to be a restatement. So right there and say restatement is the comparative. Comparative or comparison? It should be comparison. Real comparison, not comparative. Restatement is the comparison of EPS. Comparison of EPS in the current period. Comparison of EPS in the current period with the prior. With the prior financial years. Prior financial years, taking into consideration full colon, Roman 1, bonus issue, next, rights issue, and finally, reverse and share splits. Reverse and share splits. Reverse and share split. Full stop. So now, what happens? What are you going to do? Bonus, rights issue, share splits, and even reverse. All these four. Because bonus, you are giving shares for free. So you have to finance it from somewhere. So maybe you finance from reserve or something. Rights issue, you are giving shares at price lower than the fair what? The fair value. Who will top up those shares? Share split, when you split, you are reducing the power what? The power value. Meaning you are likely to increase the number of shares, which will reduce your what? EPS. When you reverse, you are making shares quite expensive. You are even scaring people from taking up. So I'm going to enjoy the shares. So all these four, in quotes, they are normally viewed to be problems to a company. So when the examiner is telling you to carry out restatement, you check of these four, what happened in this year, the year you are dealing with. For example, if you are told to restate 2015, you check of this form, what happened in 2015, and what if that which happened in 2015 could have happened in 2014, what would have been the EPS? So it happened in 2015, and your EPS maybe was 0.75. If that would have been done last year, we would have been advised to do it last year like bonus. Last year EPS would have been 0.6. So it means this year is better. Because when either of these four is present, EPS is expected to do what? To drop. So if it happened this year and this year EPS is still higher compared to the year, if you assume, they are normally done on what if it took place last year, what would have been the EPS? Then you compare those two financial what? Periods. So when you hear the statement, check the current year, then you check either of these four, or they cannot be all, at least two. Which happened this year, then you assume what if it took place previous what? Year. Then you compare the EPS. So right there, restatement under full colon, Roman 1, bonus issue. So how do you restate EPS if it is bonus? Under bonus issue. So you take EPS. So if it is bonus issue, this is how you restate. You take EPS previous year, last year, previous year, then you multiply with what we call bonus what? Factor. That's how you restate when you have bonus issue. You multiply by the bonus factor. So the question is, what is bonus factor? Bonus factor will be shares, ordinary shares of course, before bonus, you divide by the shares after. Shares after bonus. That is the bonus factor. That is how you restate when you have bonus issue. So if you are told to restate, but then that EPS for our setting, why we require to restate? Just check for me. I've not checked that question actually. I don't know it is even which question. Can someone, Chris? Can someone just check? Can someone just check that question? It was which question?
Question 3. From 2.
Question 3.
Yes.
Let's check that question 3 from and 2.
Yes.
Yes, so if you are required to restate, you must know what is happening. Number 2, let's check rights issue. Let's check rights issue. When you have a rights issue, check EPS previous year. You multiply, so in a reciprocal, X rights price. You just multiply with the X rights price over the CAM rights price. CAM rights is that price on the date when the rights were given. You want to compare the last quotation. When we say last quotation, was the price just before the rights what issue. The price on the date of the rights issue. So it's always a fraction. These are formulas. All right, then let's go to reverse AMA share splits. Let's start with the share split. Let's start with share splits. When it is share split, the 3 share splits, this is what you do to restate. So restated EPS. Let's start for restated EPS. You take one-offs previous year. Sorry, not one-offs, but powers. Sorry, powers of previous year. You divide with one-offs previous year. You multiply. Split, you multiply times the split. So split wanakwambia 1 for 2, you multiply by 2. Then, if it is reverse split, then restated EPS will be powers previous year divided by one-offs also previous year divided by the split, reverse you divide. Pass. Josephine, repeat which one? So just like those formulas, maybe we'll get a question. We might get a question. Even a capital reduction. People are mastering current issues. So check for me. 2018. Check November 2018. Question number 5C. Question number 5C. So you can check that.
Page 60.
So have you gotten that question?
Yes, sir.
So let's read. It says, question 5B. Take up question 5B. Discuss the significance of the EPS figure in the analysis of the performance of companies. So let us write advantages of EPS. Be careful. Advantages of EPS. Advantages of EPS. What do FM? How do you normally calculate P? P in yes, price earnings ratio. What is the formula? MPS over EPS. So you're number one. Look at you. EPS can be used. EPS can be used in determining the price earning ratio of a company. Can be used in determining the price earning ratio of a company during a given financial period of a company during a given financial period. Next, EPS figure can be used to compare a company's performance, can be used to compare a company's performance on a given period of time. On a given period of time. This on or over a given period of time. Over a given period of time. Next, diluted, though we have not covered diluted will come later. Diluted EPS shows the likelihood. Diluted EPS shows the likelihood effects. The likelihood effects on a shareholder's earnings, in case there is any alteration, in case there is any alteration in the capital structure, in case there is any alteration in the capital structure. And maybe finally, it can be used to compare performance of different entities within the same industry. To compare the performance of different entities within the same industry. Full stop. Limitations. This time maybe utaulizwa limitations. So limitations of EPS. Limitations of EPS. Limitations of EPS. Limitations of EPS. One, you say, number one limitation, you say, different entities uses different accounting policies. Different policies in calculating earnings. And therefore, EPS is not a conclusive measure, EPS may not be a conclusive measure of a company's performance. They can report good EPS, lakini ukienda huko hata huoni. Number two, some companies, they have very good names, lakini ukienda hata kuna chai yao staffs. Kila mtu anabeba mandazi yake. Number two, EPS is distorted. EPS is distorted if the company conducts. Distorted if a company conducts a share buyback. Share by what? If they conduct a share buyback. Full stop. Continuation. This will reduce the number of shares in issue. Will reduce the number of shares in issue. Hence increasing the EPS. Full stop. Share buyback means they redeem back the shares in issue. So when you get back your shares, you know you are reducing the one-offs. Ukipunguza one-offs, what is happening to EPS? It goes up. So that is very dangerous. Next, just to entice the public. Next, EPS doesn't take into consideration. Debt positions. Doesn't take into consideration debt positions and financial leverage. Doesn't take into consideration debt position and financial leverage. They don't consider mambo ya madeni. They just want profit over shares. Full stop. Last, EPS is distorted by mergers and acquisitions. EPS is distorted by mergers and what? Acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions. Full stop. And let's go to the next part of the question. IS 33, that is earnings per share, sets out the requirements for calculating and disclosing the basic earnings per share figure for quoted entities. The following figures appeared in the consolidated income statement and other comprehensive income of Uwezo Limited for the year ended 31st July 2018, together with the comparative for 2017. So 2018 and 18 and 17, you can be able to see them there. The statement of financial position extract for 2018 together with 2017 also we have been given. No problem. During the year 2018, the following changes took place in relation to the issued share capital. 100 million equity shares were issued in relation to the acquisition of another business. These shares were issued at full market price, no problem. 150 million ordinary shares were issued for cash to the existing shareholders on 1st February 2018. The issue price was shillings 1.5 per share, which represents a discount of 25% of the traded price of shillings 2 per share immediately before the issue. Imagine that is rights issue. So, but once you see them giving shares at a discount, that is a right what issue. On 30th June 2018, a bonus issue was completed by capitalizing shillings 135 million of the retained earnings. On 31st July, the preference dividends for the year and equity dividends of 23 were paid. No problem. Required the basic earnings per share for the year ended 31st July 2017 and 2018, 10 marks. Then comparative EPS for 2017 to be represented in 2018 financial statements. The EPS figure reported in 2017 was 0.5252 marks. Now that is the restatement. Restatement, sometimes they call it comparative EPS. So comparative EPS, restated EPS, one and the same. Let's start with basic. 2017-2018. Right there, basic EPS. Formula kila siku ni formula lazima iandike. For basic EPS, as usual, I'll take the profit, I will divide by weights. So profit, we have agreed. If you have more than a year, then capture the profit at once. So this is 2018, this is 2017. Shillings are in millions. Have those two. So can you check? Check. Now which profit are we taking? Observe the P&L. Observe P&L. Observe P&L. You tell me which profits are we taking? Which profits are we taking? What? There? 2? 280 and 210, which is which? Yes, that is the profit you're supposed to go for. The profit after tax for the year attributable to owners of the group, non-controlling we don't want. Usiende huko kwa total comprehensive. We check profit for the year after tax. So the profits for the year attributable to owners of the group. So PAT to group owners that in apparent 280. Another one is 10. That is the profit you need to pick. Go to Anos. So Anos, we have to complete 2017 first. Well, rights issue for which year? You know the rights issue is in French. Rights issue is in which year? 2018. Which day? 2018? First? February. So fine, that is okay. So one was 2017. So 2017, there is no problem. Give us here date, details, shares, weight, ones. That. So the year should start when? The year starts 1st August, eh? Yes. 1st August 2016. So details is balanced down what? Not down. So can you check the capital structure? Equity. Uko juu. Check balance sheet, equity 2017. Are you seeing the equity share capital?
Yes.
How much in monetary? Are you seeing the 200? Divide by the par value to get the number of shares. The par value is shilling 0.5. So divide by 0.5 to get the number of shares. You get? 400. So we have 400. That is 200 divided by 0.5. These shares, you weigh them for the whole year. Okay? But here number 4. On 31st July 2018, the preference dividends for the year and the equity dividend of 23 million were paid. So shida iko hapa. Ni sawa kama lilipo. Owners of the group are now assumed here to be the ordinary. So it will not affect the profit. Then any shares before 2018. Number 1. Is there anything affecting these shares in 2017? Check note 1. Just check note 1. Note 1 is which year? Is which date of week when? 1st November 2017. Is that within this year?
No.
This year ends on 31st July. That is rolling to 2018. So this year is gone. This year is gone. But even the examiner said during the year ended 31st July 2018, the following took place. So therefore, EPS 2017, you take our profit. So take the profit for 2017, divide by the one. So that is 210 divided by what? 100. Giving you shillings. 0.52 per what? Per share. 0.525 per share. That is today. Iko sawa?
First, you take in that how you get that 400.
The 400. The 400. Oh, when you imetaipiwa. Check capital structure, please. Check the capital structure. No. So the capital structure, inakaa wewe unaona inakaa 11. Sasa kuna pesa kama hiyo kweli? Hata wewe angalia tu vizuri. Ukiangalia tu vizuri. Kuna kitu kama hiyo. You want to fix. You're the one who wants to fix. I go to 2018. 2018. Should we subtract? Winter we can't, because you see what they are saying. Angalia note 4. And not even note 4. You know, they said profit after tax for the year attributable to owners of the group. But here to have out to the ordinary. And furthermore, 0.525. Yes. If check your required note 2, walikuwa natupea hata clue. Check note required Roman 2. The EPS figure reported in 2017 was which one? Unaweza deal na examiner, so ndio unaanza na hiyo alafu una fix figures. Charles, umepewa answer. So Quinta, this is the answer, this one. But we have gotten it genuinely. The owners of the group sometimes are deemed to be, the real owners of the group are sometimes deemed to be the ordinary shareholders. I go to 2018. Lakini umeelewa 400 sasa.
Yeah, I understand that. I had a concern because I was initially why was it
that check your capital structure, your swali, that previous question. Ilikuwa pia ndele, walikuwa wamepeana hapo. Hebu angalia hiyo swali. The way they had arranged that P&L, kuna hizo preference dividends walikuwa wame expense hapo. Umeona? That previous question. Previous. Previous. Kama utafuta ilikuwa kueleka na kuonesha. Ama tafuta, wewe tafuta tu ukipata ukaniambia. Madenge amesema nyewe hiyo 400 hata yeye aone. Madenge. Yes, he's around. Madenge check 2017 is 200. Equity share capital in bracket is shilling 0.5. 200 divided by 0.5 is 400. Kwisha. Ndio hiyo umeambiwa na watu wengi hapo. So shillings nimeandikwa S inakaa 11, sasa nasema ni shillings 11.0.5. Is that possible? Is it shillings 0.5 each? Good. Let's go to 2018. So 2018 there is rights issue. So when there is rights issue, where are the share movement? Lakini si pia ulipewa answer ya 2017. Ungeweka hata bila kucompute. Kama ndivyo mmelifanyia hapo. So you write here date, details, shares, weight. No. Now it's not proper share. So this is 2018. So you will start with the beginning of the year, 1st August 2018. Check the ones you closed with in 2017. Check the ones we closed with. We closed with how many shares? 17, you're 2017. There were how many shares? 400. Yes, 400. Why are you 400? Then now let's go to the dates. Let's go to note 1. Note 1, 100 million equity shares were issued. And by the way, to be exact, we do this. 2018, we are seeing 460 in shillings. We divide by 0.5. So that once we reconcile, we should have that figure for accuracy. 460 divided by 0.5 comes to 920. So 100 million equity shares were issued in relation to the acquisition of another business. These shares were issued at full market price on 1st November. So 1st November 2017, new what? New issue. How many? 100. 100. Note number 2. 150 million ordinary shares were issued for cash to existing shareholders on 1st February 2018. 1st February 2018. The issue price was shillings 1.5 per share, which represents a discount of 25 on the traded price of shillings 2 per share immediately before the issue. That is rights issue. Rights issue. So can you check for me, how many shares did you get through the rights issue? What you actually is the 150. Is the 150. So but I want to know the basis. Your basis is to idea. Basis the 150. How did they get 150? How many shares were there before the rights issue? Shares before rights issue? Not 4. 500. The shares before the rights issue, this plus this 500. So which ratio are they using? 150 shares were issued for cash to the existing shareholders. The issue price was 1.5 per share, which represents a discount of that before. Which ratio did they use? Which ratio are they using? Well, it is even our concern for now. Let's proceed. But they said 150 other shares were issued for cash to the existing. That is the rights itself. Number 3, on 30th June 2018, a bonus issue was completed. So this is 30th June 2018. There is what? Bonus. Was completed by capitalizing shillings how much? 135 million of the retained earnings. So to get the number of shares, take that amount divided by the par value. So they are saying shillings what? 135 divided by the par value of each share, you will get the number of shares. 0.5. That one will give you 270 shares. Preference, or then I use my preference. Question. Can you add this to check it? I think I use yes. I think I use 920. Yes. Yes, then that's okay. Yes. So to get this ratio, this one here, the rights to 150. How many shares were we having before the bonus, before the rights issue? 500. Eh? So take 150 over 500. Give me the basis. You'll get the basis. Basis of rights issue. Itakuwa 150 divided by 500 is like saying what over what? By 3, by 5, by 5, 3, by 5, 10. So the basis is 3 new for every 10 what? For every 10 held. So 3 over 10 times 500, that is 150. Joseph, bonus, we don't weigh. We were just checking share movement. Ndio tunataka kwenda kwa weights. Umeelewa the basis?
Yes.
Umeelewa? Yeah, so you just take the rights divided by what was there before. So 3 new for every 10 held. That is correct. Get for me theoretical X rights price. So get for me X rights price. Your X rights nimefunza mara mingi sasa. So get the price from that information. Can you calculate the X rights price? X rights price. X rights price will be
Hmm?
1.88. Okay. You go with the basis. 3 new. They were issued at what value?
1.5.
Huh?
1.5.
The issue price was 1.5, giving you 4.5 for every 10. 10 at what price? 2. Giving us 20. This is 13. 13 for 24.5. So X rights price will be 24.5 divided by 13, giving you 1.88. That is the X rights price. Sure. All right, now let's weigh them. Let's weigh them. Let us weigh them for time factor. So time factor, here you will take ordinary shares before rights issue. How many shares were there before rights issue? 500 times the market value. What was the market value before rights issue? 2. No. Divide by 1.88 times the period before the rights issue. Rights issue took place on 1st of February. So can you start from the beginning of the year, August last year, back at the end of January, before February? How many months? 6 months. Okay. So times 6 over 12. Then after rights issue, but not including bonus. Bonus is not weighed for time factor. So take the shares after rights issue, but excluding bonus. That will be 650. So we'll have 650 for the remaining how many months? 6. Then bonus, if you want to weigh bonus, we said if you want to weigh them, you weigh them for how many months? You weigh them for 12. Otherwise, bonus is not weighed. So you just capture the 270. When you are giving people bonus, stop conditions. Kama uko na conditions, ama mtu anaweza kupea chakula na kuambia na make sure umeshiba. No, sometimes we eat for fun. $650. $650. After bonus issue, including rights issue. Ukiongeza hiyo itafika ngapi? Sio? Yes. So 650 is after the rights issue, meaning including the rights issue. So the first one comes to how much? The first weight. 60? 0.96. The second one, total 860.96. Therefore, basic EPS 2018 will be profit was what? 280. So 280 divided by 860.96 shillings what per share? $0.33 for every share. They don't even mark those as final answers. Those steps are marked. So let's go to Roman 2. So Madenge, we have not weighed the bonus. 12 over 12 is just like nothing. Roman 2. Reps nini? Restated EPS, which is Roman 2, the comparative EPS. So they have said we able to sum required. The comparative EPS for 2017 to be reported in 2018 financial statement. The EPS figure reported in 2017 was 0.525. That's what we have gotten. So can you check? I want you to check the restatement from our notes. How do you restate? And what are those factors or elements which are appearing in this year? This year is 2018. So you focus on 2018. What is appearing in 2018? And what if they will have appeared in 2017? Joyce is requesting for health break. Yes, after this question, we are going for break. Then we come back for diluted EPS. So what happened this year? There was bonus, and there was rights issue. So you come here and say EPS previous year. Actually, this is how I'm going to restate it. So restated EPS, I'll take EPS 2017. So you multiply with the bonus factor, then you multiply here against the rights issue. So just take for me X rights divided by what? They come rights. There are two ways of doing this. This is the easiest. So this will be EPS last year was 0.525. Bonus factor. How do you get bonus factor? Bonus factor is the number of shares before the bonus. So before bonus, currently 600 and what? 50. Before bonus, we had 650 shares. After bonus, we are having how many shares? Like 20. X rights price was 1.88. Sure. Come right was 2. Restated EPS here. Spend it into finance. What are you getting? 5 thereabout.
Yes.
Kazi kwako. Work is on you now to tell us. If, number one, you should know these are problems. Rights issue, number one, sorted. Those are problems to a company. If we could have given bonus and rights issue in 2017, EPS would have been what? 0.35. So, in actual sense, they took place in 2018. And what was EPS in 2018? 0.33. If it could have been squeezed last year, EPS of last year would have been 0.35. So what is happening? Peana comment hapo. The company's performance slightly. The company's performance slightly. Kuna kitu kama slightly declined, kama decreased. Which kizungu is best? Slightly declined in 2018. Slightly declined in 2018 compared to 2017. Compared to 2017. Full stop. Full stop. So I'd also have to say, how to finance. I think the capital market normally controls this. The term of the restatement they were preferring, you just multiply by the excise, but they said you have to adjust for the right. Hiyo hata imekuwa sijakaa sana actually. So ukisoma hizo vitabu za kitambo hautaona hiyo price. Utaona wana multiply the x. That is very wrong. Adjust. You are required to adjust for the the price which was there before. So take that note. We are going for break. Right for me, they are diluted EPS. So far, umeona EPS direction nachukua between EPS and reconstruction. So far, which is which? Because in exam, it will be that paper cannot be okay if either EPS and reconstruction both to appear or one. So one of them must be there. So unaona Mungu amue gani? Ati amue reconstruction in specific equal external. Maybe our prayers might be answered. So right there, diluted EPS. Hey, imetosha online. So Mungu analeta reconstruction. But EPS is easier, it's in buyer. Diluted. And we are not going to dilute if we don't have basic. So make sure umeelewa basic. Any question with dilution must have basic. A must. So you must know basic is when you go to dilution. So how many minutes break? It's 15 minutes, okay? So let's meet back at 11. Just coming back at 1 day. That's it. So go for the break. Oh, way back. Let's pick at 11. How we want to dilute. Then gets done with the prayers. Prayers are eating. Eh? Hii class hakuna mtu anaenda political seat. I think it's like 6 to Konas. No. It's fine. That's why anashindanga mmetembea huku ndani. No, I know Sec 6 we have. Sec 3 we have someone going for member of parliament. Sec 6 I think we have MCA. I'm a drop. So just we are going for which one? Nangoja nomination. Madenge is saying you can do anything with the roots part. Yeah, not worry. It's out. Kina politics hiyo pia utapata career. Si ndio? Politics kuna kitu kama hii. Open the live yako bele iko. Ni politics ni right. Na mpaka asubuhi napata watu kama 200 wamekuwa. Simatoka na paka. Kutoka na paka. Backdoor. Hizi ya zote wanaelewa. Let's say we have company A and company B. We made a stock market. Unataka to invest. Mungu amekupatia tu pesa from nowhere. Assuming tomorrow you wake up by the way. Umeamka unapata kwa account yako kuna credit imeingia 200 million. Na si ya mchezo, it is true. No dreaming. What will you do? Tomorrow is Monday.
Lazima simu.
And the first day kuzima simu.
Yes.
Hakuna kwenda kazi. Unaacha kazi. Unanunua hiyo kampuni kwenye uko na bwana. Then number 3, you forget about Kiswahili.
You know.
Will you even do exam?
For what?
Well, that is how life changes. Hapo ndio utajua kuna watu watakuadvise, financial advisors. One thing watakuadvise wanakuambia you invest in bonds and in equity in shares. So in shares, so mnatembea na advisor, unaenda stock market. Then now you want to invest. So the broker, you know broker sasa ndio atakupea hiyo story. Anakuambia EPS, we have company A, they reported 9.7 in the previous year. This one's reported 11.8. Which company are you investing?
Usifikirie sasa, normal. Which company are you going to invest in your bill? People will run to B. That is very dangerous. Very. What should happen? You know what happens with these companies? Sometimes you find that fine, there is no problem. They have reported favorable EPS. And one limitation of EPS to Liangalia, they fail to take into consideration the leverage what? Position. These people might have borrowed debts, and they gave out debts with this clause. They gave out debts with this clause. Clause what? Convertible. Convertible means, so for example, if they are convertible debts, then it means at maturity, these people will not redeem their cash. They will come to join and they will be what? Shareholders. So actually, this is what brought Eveready down. So you know, alipata Eveready kiwa Eveready. So it was very serious. Yes. And why? Sahi Eveready kwa hapo. What happened? What they did, they borrowed, they gave out securities, they gave out options, they gave out convertible. If you get time, just read the story of Eveready. Convertible debentures, and also there were convertible preference. So convertible preference means these people will give you capital. You agree it is 5 years. At the lapse of year 5, you know, normally at the lapse of the agreed period, those people come back and redeem their money. But here there is no redemption. At the end of year 5, they join to become ordinary shareholders, owners of the company. The same with debenture holders. You pay them interest upon maturity, they join as ordinary. Options is to employees. So employees wanapewa hizo options that if you work for 10 years, you will become part of us. So you know when you borrow, all of them, when you give employees those promises, they work very hard. So they work very hard. Things are smooth. Debenture holders have given you money, preference has given you money. So you have a lot of money to trade. Then what will happen, because the company is more efficient, you will report favorable profits. Profits are sawa, na shares bado ziko chini because they have not done what? Join. So Eveready was reporting very high EPS, basic, very high. Until, so what wakaanza kununua those shares were enticed. After buying those shares after a few years, these people joined. So with a slight increase in powers, shares zikafanya nini? One zikafanya nini? Shoot up. What is happening to EPS? It drops. So in this case, you are telling me fine B, can you ask this broker, between these two companies, is there any who have given out convertible what? Securities? Then he checks akwambia yes, B wamepeana, A hawajapeana. So tell the broker, can you compute for me on assumption that those people have done what? Converted. Assume they have converted at the current situation. Utapata wakiconvert, this one can even reduce to 4.1. So you better invest in this one here. So diluted EPS will arise when convertible securities have been converted into ordinary what? Shares. So it's normally computed on assumption what if they join, what will happen. So let us have some small write-ups. So let's write and say EPS is said to be diluted. EPS is said to be diluted. Kuna huyu kijana alipata sijui pesa ngapi kwa sports pesa sometimes. Alienda wapi? Is he around? France. He was called Abisai. He got how much? 200. Yes, the 200 million. Alirudi. France. But do you think the 200 million is still there? Or he's doing well? Oh, then that is better. EPS is said to be diluted
But hakuna pesa mingi, sio? Hakuna. It just depends with how you utilize. Unajua ukifika hapa na 200 million, useme sasa wenye unasema unataka kununua hiyo kampuni, useme unataka kununua hii building. You know this building, hiyo 200 million ni unaona kama 20 bob. Can you buy this building with 200 million? So ni kidogo sana. So it depends. Kama umeweka ni ya mandazi kila siku, basi hiyo ni sawa. EPS is said to be diluted. EPS is said to be diluted if potential ordinary shares, if potential ordinary shares have been or are to be converted into ordinary shares. When the potential ordinary shares have been or are to be converted, into ordinary shares. Full stop. To introduce EPS, did we define potential ordinary shares? We'll go back up by introduction, terminologies. I think we did. In the definitions, did we define what are potential ordinary shares? What did we say? Which entitles the holder? Huh? Yes, entitled the holder to ordinary shares. We call them potential because they have potentiality of being converted into what? Into shares. So when we say convertible ordinary shares, and this one here, any security with a clause what? Convertible. So yes, so those are what we call potential. Next, down there, steps for determining DPS, steps for determining diluted earnings per share. Steps for determining diluted earnings per share. Number one, determine the basic EPS. Determine the basic EPS. Determine the basic EPS. So when you are required to get diluted, you can't get diluted if you don't have basic, because diluted is what basic is what you are going to dilute. Number two, rank the potential. Rank the potential ordinary shares. Rank the potential ordinary shares based on their incremental earnings. Rank the potential ordinary shares based on their incremental earnings per share. Based on their incremental earnings per share. That one I will explain to Kifanya as well. Then number three, determine DEPS, that is diluted. Determine DEPS based on the ranks in step 2 above. Based on the ranks in step 2 above, full stop. Before I check a question, it's all tunaangalia hakuna kitu kingine, right? For me, important notes. Important notes. Important notes number one, DEPS is calculated from the profit on continuing operations only. I'll explain. From the profit on continuing operations only. Number two, once a share split or reverse split, a share split or reverse split has taken place once a share split or reverse split has taken place, comma, any subsequent issue of shares, must be splitted, not splitted per se, but must be adjusted to reflect, such a split, stop, reverse, full stop. What it means, that one I can explain. What it means, examiner kuna venye wanawekanga ya kuchanganyisha. If at all you realize, when we started in January, shares were having a par value of 10. In April, you were told to split them. So 1 of 10 becomes 2 of 5. So any shares which will come after April, hakuna yenye inakuja na par value of 10. They must come with a par value of 5. So if they tell you that in June, the company gave out new ordinary shares with a par value of 10, then now you don't add that one share, you add them, how many? 2, you split them into 2. So once they have splitted, any shares coming must be splitted. You make sure they are at the new par value. If you get a question, that will be okay. 20 illustration. What are the last setting? This is something you have to check. Your last setting, which question? I don't think if I have it. Last setting, you said it was question, April 2022 question. Yeah? 3C. Oh yeah, I have it. So check 2022 question 3C. Question 3C. Ama tumalize leo.
How we just finish a day. Usikuje Sunday nyingine, watu kila mtu baki na class ya kwao. Mtamiss madenge, sio? Well, if today we have exactly 2 weeks. Ama?
Yes.
Exactly 2 weeks to exam.
Well, very dangerous. So when you want to leave, mwanze kuchukua leave on Thursday. This week tunaanza. Hiyo inakuwa enough. Thursday, hiyo Friday uanze ku. Unajua mtu akipata, kuna watu wakipata leave ni kama I'm sorry to say it, kama umetoka kwa jela. Sure. Haendi job. Uzurura tu, sure, unasikia kongara. Na umechukua leave yako. Kama umechukua leave kuja hapa ukae. Unasikia tu ako tu everywhere. Alafu anaanza kusoma ile wiki nyingine on Thursday. Na amekuwa na week kuanza hii Thursday. Ama wanashikana watu wengine wa day. Unajua wa day class wanapenda nini? Coffee, Wao wanakunywa coffee kwa class. Get a book confirm. Si wanakunywa coffee kwa class. So wanashikana na hao library coffee. Ukipata hiyo leave, utilize it properly. Alright, so let's read that question. Alright, let's read question 3C. April 2022, question 3C. Sasa hiyo ndio shughuli zinakuwa mingi. So we read, it says, are limited, but if you will not get leave, because just go the hard way. Just go the hard way. I know some companies which are funny, Ukienda leave ya kufanya mtihani, ukirudi unapata replacement. They are there. In fact, wanaomba ataenda leave. Are limited, a public traded company, had 9 million ordinary shares of shillings 1 par value and 1,007,000 redeemable preference shares of shillings 10 par value. That one must be explained. you know, this preference now are classified in so many categories, but let me concentrate on these two. There is redeemable and redeemable. In accounting, how we treat these two is totally different. Redeemable preference is not treated as part of equity. They are normally treated as part of non-current what? Liabilities. These are the ones which are treated as equity. Why? Redeemable means these people, they normally just give you money for some time, like 5 years, you give them back their money. So it's always more or less of what? A loan. This one, wow, they are there as far as the company remains in existence. Ile munaitanga until what? They are there forever. So with them, they're treated more or less of ordinary share capital. So the dividends, the accounting treatment again now changes. Dividends we pay this ones here is not treated as dividends in the body. They are treated as part of what? Finance cost. Come interest, because wow, they are just loan providers. The ones treated as dividends are these ones here. If the examiner is silent on the type of preference, then we assume they are redeemable. They are there forever. So when they talk of redeemable, the dividends we pay redeemable is treated as finance cost, not dividends, but in quotes. You can take that note casually. So fine. As at that date, R also had issued 2.5 million stock options. Okay, these options are exercisable at what price? 1.5 per share. The average fair value per ordinary share during the year was shilling how much? 2. Okay. Options the employees. Next, our limited profit for the year to 30th of September 2021 from continuing operations was 14,575 and 30th September 2020 was 15,100. The other day we were doing disposal of subsidiaries. So the examiner can tell you we have profit from discontinued and profit from continuing. Then they tell you the profit after tax from discontinued operation was 200, this was 300. So how does this one have an impact on EPS? When calculating basic, when you are doing basic EPS, you will get for the total. You add this plus this. Because what people will do, what you observe all of these subsidiaries will to reduce our profit. There's one subsidiary which is not performing well. Wakiangalia your profit yao vis-a-vis the shares in that subsidiary, itapunguza EPS. Na competitors waone kumbe hata mnarika na kuna kitu serious kwa nayo. Wanajifanya wameuza. They sell it during the year. So by the end of the year, they report favorable what? EPS. So the standard in our strict. For basic, you use for the company as a whole. Company as a whole means you have both discontinued and what? Continuing. But since DPS is future. Future that what if those people will convert the shares into ordinary? So you just use based on what? Continuing, because it's future. So you don't concentrate on the profit of discontinued operations. That's all. But for basic, take even the one which was discontinued, provided at that time it was still within the group. The following transactions took place during the year. So on 1st of January 2021, the company issued 1.8 million ordinary shares in a 145 rights issue at a price of shillings 2, when the market price per share on CAM rights basis was 5. So on 1st of April 2021, R Limited issued 1 million ordinary shares at full market price. On 1st of July, the company issued 5 million convertible bonds. Underline the word convertible. There are normally 3. We have convertible bonds, convertible preference, and options. Only options do not have the word convertible. So sometimes students wanaenda kwa mtihani, bora wameshaona preference and bonds, Wao wana assume hizo pia ni potential. No, it only becomes potential if it has prefix ama suffix. Ile inakuja ya kwanza. Prefix, eh? If it has a prefix, what? Convertible. So like here I've seen preference, but I've not seen the word what? Convertible. So this one is potential because there is word what? Convertible. So convertible bonds with an effective interest rate of 12%. The bond is convertible into ordinary shares at the holder's options on the basis of 60 shares per shillings 100 of the bond. None of the bonds was converted during the year 2021. Hakuna mtu aliconvert, lakini assuming they will convert, what will happen? The income tax rate applicable to R Limited, yangu haina rate. Nani yako na hiyo rate? Labda waliskip, but tunaweza jua ni 30%. Yes, so the income tax rate applicable to R Limited is 30%. Required basic earning per share for the year 2021, restated earnings per share 2020, diluted earnings per share 2021. So let's start. Let's start with basic. Assuming you are there last sitting, what happens? So basic EPS. Basic EPS, you take the profit attributable to ordinary shareholders, you divide by what? 1. So give me the profits. They want us to compute the basic in which year? 2021. So can you maneuver the profits in 2021? Tell me how much is this? Check. It should be profit from continuing, remember? 2021 was 14,575. Please allow me to work in thousands. Those things are many. So let's start with powers computation. So powers, shillings, let's reduce to thousands. So reported net profit for the year. Net profit, we assume tax has been subtracted. Net profit for 2021 is how much? 14,575. 575. Let me check paragraph 1. R Limited, a public traded company, had 9 million ordinary shares of shillings 1 par value and 1 million 7% redeemable preference of shillings 10 par value each. I know maybe the examiner must have subtracted preference dividends, but that is wrong. You can't. The reason why you cannot subtract, in accounting, redeemable preference are treated as part of non-current what? Liabilities. The dividends you pay them is treated as part of finance what? Finance cost. So you only subtract if at all this was profit before interest and what? Tax. You total your interest. So we'll write that note. We did not subtract preference dividends because they were rising from redeemable, which is recognized as part of finance what? Finance cost. So the profit we are going to apply is this one here. You don't subtract those preference whatever. Unless they were, it was plain. So I want us to go to share movement. There is rights issue, which has just catch up with us immediately. So share movement. share movement. You'll bring here dates, details. Then you give us what? Shares. Kuna watu wengine hawezi amini mnasomanga Sunday. Ama yeah, there are some friends of mine wamenibrand. Siku hizi uko na kuna marigo mingi sana. Kwani kila saa class. Au kwani hao watu wenye wanafunza wachoki? You see like early morning jana tumesoma mpaka saa ngapi? Tunataka kusa ngapi? You were here up to 8:30. Na tena 8:30 asubuhi tuko hapa. So mtu anashinda amekutafuta. Upatikana. Eh? Third.
Yes.
Third of? Oh, exam itakuwa imeisha. Unaweza 12 noon.
Yes.
Which is the last paper?
Audit.
Na wenye wafanye audit? Ama?
Tuesday.
No. Oh, kuna wenye wanafanya sec 5. Wenye wanaanza sec 5 wanamaliza leo. Tuesday.
11.
Oh, so kuna group ya Tuesday 11 ama 12. 12. Alafu sasa kuna wenye wanaanza hiyo Wednesday. So Wednesday yote. No problem. So the year is starting when? No, angalia kwenye inaishia. Always work with when it is ending to guide you very fast. So it should be 1st October 2020. Balance brought down. Can you check for me the number of shares? Check for me the number of shares. The number of shares, paragraph 1, eh? Yes, check paragraph 1. Are a public fine, 9 million. So 9,000. Continue. Now go to the notes. Go to the notes. Note 1. On 1st January 2021, we are still within the year. 1st January 2021, what happened? The company issued in rights issue. Okay, the company issued 1.8 million ordinary shares in a 1 for yes. Fine. So you 1.8 your rights issue? Yes. So why are they disturbing elders? Rights issue. But what was the basis? 1 for 5. What if you do 1 for 5 of this 9? It is the same.
Yes.
The same, eh?
Yes.
So we work with which one? We put direct or we do 1 over 5 times here. Tuweke na tuandike. Iko tunaandika gani? Hiyo inaandika ni imecompute ama yenye umechukua. So number 2, on 1st April, R Limited issued 1 million ordinary shares at full market price. So 1st April 2021, new issue. How many shares? 1 million, full market price. Number 3, on 1st July 2021, the company issued a 5 million convertible bonds with an effective interest of 12. The bond is convertible into ordinary shares at the holder's option on the basis of 60 shares per 1,000. None of the bonds were converted. Hakuna mtu aliconvert bonds into shares, so don't bring them here. Full stop. Yes, please. Kama wali convert, assuming they converted all of them, so right, they issued how many bonds? 5 million. So you can say, if you convert, how many you get? 60 shares. You get for 60 ordinary is equal to shillings what? 100 of the bonds. Eh? So you just come and say, what if now they converted out 60? Yes. How many ordinary will you get? Well, yeah. So if they converted, that's what I could have done. If 100 of the bonds you get 60, what about the 60? cross multiply and you get. You can add, but I don't think if it will help us. It is 1 year off. Just add for formality. The one was 5. So instead of 60, we get 5. Unashika? Haya, sawa. Ama mko standby. Haya, so the total comes to 11,800. Thank you. Haya. Now, I want you to compute for me, and I'll be very happy. Compute for me the theoretical because of the rights issue. I want to do it very fast. Nione, but I think I can remember that answer. What were sitting watoka kwa mtihani wakaniambia, and I still remember. At hiyo wameng'ara nayo. It was the easiest. Well, we are around 4.5. Can you check if theoretical comes to around 4.5 or thereabout? Theoretical, na iko na marks, so it's part of what is supposed to be marked. I'm waiting for Josephine. I'm waiting for the X-Rights price. Around 4.5? Yeah, I can see many people getting 4.5. No, APS ikuja mpaka. But then see, Musedalia maskio at reconstruction, those people, they have never done that before. You know, they also predict you. So they know what you are thinking, they know. So they can do the opposite. I have one I work in a very in number 5, eh? Unajua number 5 sometimes inakuanga huko nyuma, so inawekwa upside down karatasi. Invigilator anasema don't touch the paper, but the IC is seeing number 5, diluted earnings per share. Na hiyo ndio ulisema hiyo sioni. Kitamba maliza kupeana karatasi kwa hiyo room, umechoka. Naanza kufikiria BPS 4.5. What was the prices? 1 new at what price? 2 shillings, eh? Giving us 2. 5 all at 5. So 27. This person will be having 6. 25, eh? At 27. So X-Rights price is always the average. Other FM inafanywa kwa hivyo. Sio? 27 divided by 6, giving you 4.5. So let's go to Wanos computation. So do for me Wanos. Do for me Wanos. By the way, I was subject to. Can you try out? Now that we have X-Rights price, can you try to do the weighted? Yes. Please try. There is no harm in trying. Can you try out? Nimeshapata one-ons. Actually, niliwaambia there are two methods of doing one-ons and the rights issue. So I've tried the other method. Sijui kama niwaoneshe hiyo. Wacha tu waoneshe mtu aone kenye. Unaweza pata hiyo rahisi. Bana unaweza pata rahisi. Si ndio Susan? Acha dawa. Hapo ndio unafunga macho. I'm getting 11,100. That is it. 11,100. Inaenda hivi. Shares before rights issue. Before rights issue was 9 times the fair value. Fair value was 5.
Yes.
Divided by 4.5. For how many months before the rights issue? This one was bringing 25.
Yes.
Then after rights issue, usiweke new issue. Kama uliweka new issue out. New issue has nothing to do with the rights issue. So unakuja mpaka hapa. 10,800, sure. Times the remaining period. This one was coming to 8,100. 8,100. New issue iko kivyake. So there is 1 times 6/12. 500. 11,100. 11,100. Hivyo. Sijui kwa nini. No, let me show you this. Unaweza pata by the way iko rahisi kwako. Let me show you another method of getting one-ons and a rights issue. You can get it to be easy. Don't reject something until you see it. Eh? Yes, let me show you. There's a way you can do rights issue without following this direction, but the answer should be the same. What if you do this? Instead of share movement, uchape yote. So you say one-ons. I think about alternative. This is alternative method. So just write date, details, yote. Details.
shares, weight, then one-offs. Then you do this. You do this. You say first October 2020. So 1st October 2020. Details balance done what? Balance brought down. So balance brought down to the what? 9. So the 9 we weigh. We weigh for the whole year. So the whole year is 12. That is 9. Then on 1st January 2021, there is rights what? Rights issue. So rights issue. What is rights issue from the definition? Just the normal definition. Giving shares at a discount. So no, when you give at a discount, are you seeing bonus there? See, bonus. See, the discount is the bonus. See, it's the price lower than the market value. So that difference between market value and that exercise, that is the bonus. So there is the bonus part, and there is the one which is being given at full market price. So you separate the two. You say at full market price, you will say 18. So take 18. The normal way you have gone times 5. No, times market price was 2. Market price was 2. For the new. Yes. Times 2 divided by 4.5, the theoretical. You go for the market value. Just check. There is no problem. 800. So 800. But now check. January to the end of the year will be 9 months. So then September. The year ends when? So September. So wait for 9 months. 9 over 12. Hiyo itakuwa ngapi? 600. So you say here 600. Then bonus. The total rights was 18, but full market price imekuwa ngapi? 8. So you take bonus will be 18 minus what? Minus 8. So bonus will be 1,000. We don't weigh bonus. Sure. So like 1,000. Then full market price. So new issue. First is 21. New issue. New issue ilikuwa ngapi? 1. For how many months? 6. That is how much? 500. It is giving you the same thing. Yes. Yes, it should. So that is an alternative approach. So hakuna kuenda new issue, unaenda hivyo 130. So what you calculate outside is the theoretical. Theoretical will apply because you will require it here. And now why are you copying? Mlisema mtaki vitu mpya. It can also work.
Yeah, it can.
Yes, it can work. Nice. This one. Ebu muniambie which one is better, ndio next semester nijue naenda kwa gani. Wenye wata nyinyi mtakuwa. The first or this one? So this is the easiest. Purity anasema hiyo second ni afadhali. Sawa, so wewe shika hiyo ndio inakufurahisha. So the only thing you interfere with is this one here, the rights. Now you use the market, the exercise price. You don't use the cap rights. You use the exercise price as a fraction. Yes. If you are going for the other one, make sure you are using the cap rights price. So therefore, weka therefore kubwa. Therefore, basic EPS
basic EPS, profit was 14,575 divided by 11,100. Shillings what per share? Shillings, how much per share? Please check for us. EPS will be shillings what per share? $1.31. 1.31 per share. So 1.31 per share. How many marks? 4 marks. Can I mark? So this one, if it was to be marked, it will go this way. This will be 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Then the answer 6. The answer 6. Then any 4 times 1. Any 4 times 1. What about to Bure? Impossible. Let's go to the next. Restated earnings per share. So what we are doing, you want to come back diluted, we stop there. Your next week we do other 2. So no, I give you assignment 2 questions as no. I'll give you 1. No, I'll give you 1. Kuna moja takuja nayo. So restated EPS right there. For summer date, you are restating for which year? 2020. So unaangalia this year. What happened? What happened this year which is triggering comparison? Rights what? Issue, correct. So there is rights issue this year. That is what is making us to do a restatement. So restatement. So restated EPS. Restated EPS will be EPS 2020 times, you take the reciprocal of that. So you take X rights price over what? Over the CAM rights price. But then the meaning of these things, of the X and the CAM rights. You know, X rights, is that price when a stock market before the rights issue. It means as in any at that time, they don't have dividends. The CAM rights, CAM means with. The holders are, those shares are having what? Dividends. Yes, that is the meaning. So let's check. Are we having EPS 2020? Were we given? Check. Of course, hatukupewa. Kama ile ingine tulipewa 0.525. So here tulipewa, but we can get. Can we? Yes, we can get. Were we given profit for 2020? Yes. So you take that profit, then unaona opening, the opening shares, the one we opened with, those were the closing last year. So just take that profit, divide by the opening shares. So you come here and say basic EPS 2020 will be what? What was the profit 2020? 15,100 divided by 9,000. Correct. Hata wenye imeanza kuona EPS imeanza kukua sawa. Na sasa niwafurahishe. Ulikuwa mnaona ni by the time unamaliza diluted, hata utaona hiyo basic ndio hata kuna kitu. Very easy. And how do you compare Afra as a 5 na ile tulifanya 3? I think 3 inakuwa ngumu. Branch hata ieleweke, si ndio? Mark down prices. Hata watu wengi ukiwauliza wanakwambia mimi security kitanga kimungu mungu. Sikuelewa kitu. But you know, CPS starts from section 3. So that's why. So this is 667. Wow, 1.68. Bring it here. So REP will be 1.68 times X rights price was 4.5. Divided by Cam rights price was 5, not 2. 2 was the exercise price. So how much is the restated EPS? 1.51. So shillings 1.51. Which year is better, 2020 or 2021, if that is the basis of making judgments? 20? Yeah, 2020 is better. Juu tungepeleka hiyo hapo ingekuwa 1.51. Sawa. Let's go to the last required. Last required is diluted EPS. Diluted EPS. So tutaenda pole pole. So let me take 3 minutes break again. Nichukue maji. Then Mohammed, I don't know, you want me to project where? I think this side. So you can check. When I can. So some people are complaining, nikienda break na nifanye recording. Kuna mali watu wanaongea. Mnapiganga kelele during recording. Like there's a recording ya class ingine hata sikutuma. Those ilikuwa section 3 early morning. Walikuwa naongea politics. So imagine, you know, these things are going to the public sometimes. Alafu usikie watu wanaongea siasa, so sikuwatumia. So msipige kelele. What I pause, What did we say about diluted? You identify. Let's identify potential ordinary shares. So identify potential ordinary shares. Potential means yes, the ones which are capable of being converted. So which ones are they? You check for owner preference and debentures or bonds. You check with the one prefix what? Convertible. Yes, prefix convertible. Then options. Options say let's make when are your prefix. There was a debate on which name is best. Ulisikia using the same CPHRs. Which name is best? Should your name have a prefix or a name should have a suffix? Suffix inakujanga huko nyuma. Nani ako na pesa between those whose name starts with a prefix na wenye wako na suffix? Well, no, the argument was concluded that suffix has more money than prefix. So angalia hata examples. Angalia examples hapa Kenya, tuwate usiende pale. So unajua suffix ni kama CPA Juma. Then hiyo ingine suffix. Suffix ni kama Mwangi wa Equity. Unaona inakuja huko mwisho. So suffix wanasema iko na pesa mingi. So Charles, where are you putting your name? So and then so the potential in this question, we have options, and there was convertible what? Convertible bonds. The preference which were here were not convertible. They will never be converted into shares. So what you do, yes.
But 7% for
If Yakata, Swali ni, are they convertible? Will they be converted? For them to be potential, it must have that clause convertible. Lazima ikuwe na the attachment hapo. Convertible. So options. So can we go to the steps? Kuna steps tuliandika. Step for determining diluted. So let's go to the steps. Step 1 is to determine the basic. Yes. Already we have the basic. So go to step 2. You rank them based on their incremental earnings per. So let's do that. So I think options. Where I think options, you understand what's happening. Options is number 1. So what we want to check, options is to employees. When these employees will convert or they will exercise the privilege they were given, exercising means they take up what? Shares. What will happen to the company's earnings? And shares will go up by how many? So you come here and say incremental earnings. Incremental earnings. How will the company's earnings be affected? It will increase by how much? So ukipata options kwa swali, incremental earnings, all the questions is always what? 0. You don't tell employees at tutawapea shares, because how do they affect the company's profits? Employees, what impact they have on the company's profits? Sini salaries. Yes. So can you tell them at mkichukua hizo shares nao kutakuwa na mshahara? Si afadhali ukae na shares ulipe mshahara ni mwenyewe kwingine. So employees, whether you convert or not, watakuwa shareholders, they will still be entitled to what? Dividends. So there is no much impact on the company's earnings. So the effect is always 0 for all the options. Incremental earnings when they cut 0. Go to incremental what? Shares. Incremental shares. You go and read now the question because they will take up. Yes, clarification lakini ujue ni 0, si ndio? Oh, okay, yes. Hata Equity Bank. Nani yako Equity? I'm told what all the employees wako kwa hiyo inaitwa ESOPs.
But there is a situation where they don't just issue free. Maybe they say that from
definitely. Hakuna cha bure. Hakuna kitu kama hicho. Hata kama hutadidactiwa lakini mshahara yako wanajua tungefaa tumpe 80. Lakini wacha tumpe 60 lakini najua tunakanyaga. But mostly you cannot be given for free. Definitely they can't. So at least there must be that saving. Like those of us who are working in Equity Bank, I'm told kila mtu kuna hiyo saving kama contribution. Kila mtu anafanya. Yes. Towards the share ownership, you cannot be given for free. So lazima they will have to those conditions tulisema kwa share based. Yes. But the incremental earnings, it will remain because employees still demand what? Salaries. Hata kama watakuwa director or just shareholder, there will still be an impact on the company's earnings. So where are 0? Incremental shares, read what the examiner is saying. You copy? It's not 3, not 3 bonds. Paragraph 2, where the question started.
Yes.
Paragraph 2. After that date, R also had an issue, had should be in, had an issue 2.5 million stock options. Fine. These options are exercisable. At what price? 1.5. The average fair value of the value per ordinary share during the year was 2. So in Ananga, if you use this one, I want you to know how to do options just using this question because all of them are similar. So this 2.5, the 2.5, we were working in thousands. The 2.5, the market value is shillings how much? 2. But they were told to exercise at what price? 1.5. So incremental is this bonus element. The bonus. That is the incremental. So the market price is 2. They were told to exercise at 1.5. So it is incremental in the sense they are being given at a lower price to entice them to take up. So the incremental is 0.5. So you do it this way. Incremental will be 25 times 0.5 over 2.
So 25 is to 2. So incremental of 0.5. Then you weigh them. On which date? They said on which date? So you're at the beginning. Come on. Yes, when we started the year. So for whole year, those shares weighted for the whole year. So please, hapo unaangalia the bonus. That is not bonus per se, but that difference between, in finance, munaita intrinsic what? Value. The difference between the fair value and the exercise price, that is called intrinsic value. So that the market value is 2, exercise 1.5. So that incremental is the 0.5. That is what you check. So how much is, how many shares are those? 6? 625. Then you incremental earnings per share. Incremental earnings per share will be this divided by this. So it will be 0 divided by 625, giving you what? Lakini kwa ukweli na waka inatoka infinity. 0 divided by a figure equal to 0. Lakini hapa tunaandika tu 0, lakini in reality. Ile nyingine? Or the infinity. Na 0 divided by a figure? 0. So, let's go to number 2. So yeah, options kila siku inakuwa 0 throughout. So let's go to number 2. Number 2 is the convertible. What percentage? 12% convertible bonds. % convertible bonds. Unajua mko na friends in other schools. Watu wako wapi? Kama wamaliza syllabus tunasema wajafanya many illustrations. Where are people? And people done. So 12% convertible bonds, the same. Check. Incremental what? Incremental earnings. So incremental earnings means when these people will convert into shares, how will the company's earnings be affected? Profit, what will be the effect? So you start by reasoning this way. How do they normally affect? How do they affect the company's earnings? Bondholders, what is always the effect? Interest. Wanalipwangwa interest. So for incremental earnings, calculate interest. On their, so you say when they are converted, they will cease from getting what? Interest. So the company will save. So you tell the company you will save this much. So for incremental earnings and bonds, calculate what? Interest. So we are paying them interest at what rate? 12%. Hakuna mtu wali convert. So you compute an assumption on what if they convert. So 12% times, yeah, issue 5 million. No. Yes, times shillings 5 million. So 5 million is that. But they were given when? You have to be very keen on that. When they gave them your to angalia proportionately. On 1st July 2021. Sure. When are we closing? September 2021. So check how many months? 3 months. So you multiply by 3/12. 3/12 times 0. What? So you student wanasahau. Hata mwalimu FM anawaambianga interest is tax whatever. Unachokoza 1 minus what? That is why tax rate was given somewhere there. So unafanyanga hivyo kwa finance?
Yes.
Yes, because interest is really pre-tax, really tax pre. Naona ni tax. The tax allowable. So you multiply by 1 minus tax. Tax is 30%. So you multiply by 0.7. Imagine you keep narudishanga mtu fellowship hiyo unaona. People normally forget about the tax. When it comes to bonds, debentures, always remember to work with the pre-tax issue. You get? How much?
105. Then incremental shares. Sasa hii kwa stock market umekaa broker anakufanyia hii kazi. Umemwambia ni calculate on what if. Anakwambia kuna mtu ameconvert but what if. So that ujue nikiingia this will be the effect in the long run. Actually, sijui kama ilipita CMA wali propose that all brokers must be safer certified. Sijui kama ilienda through. Because tulikuwa tuna brokers mtu anakaa tu hapo nje anakungojea. Ukiona umefika na kupea advice but without calculating this. So I don't know whether it ended through this because I had that interest. So incremental shares, check the basis. While the current what you're asking, eh? How many bonds were we having? What was the basis if I want to convert? I will get 60 for every 100 of the bonds. So you'll get 60 ordinary for every shillings 100 of the bonds, and the bonds we are having is shillings what? 5. But those shares I will wait them for how many months? 3 months. So your argument is the profit of the company has been reduced by this much. So if they convert, EPS will go, the earnings will go up by that much. Then shares, one-os will go up by how many? Huh? 750. Okay, it will go up by 750. So incremental earnings per share, incremental earnings per share. You take 105, you divide by what? 750. 105 divided by 750. 0.14. 0.14. So I want to rank them because maybe now we want people to start coming. You cannot bring all of them at once. You don't tell employees the same day you are joined, then the bondholders the same day. You bring them procedurally. So the one with the least effect on EPS, those are the first people to be invited to take up the shares. So you rank them based on the incremental earnings per what? Per share. The one with the least is the first to join. So in the rank, this is position 1, this is position number 2. So the list comes first. And in all the questions, options is always ranked number 1. But I want at least effect on the earnings. I read for me in the steps. Step number 3, what did we say? Determine EPS based on the rank in step 2 above. Now, so let's calculate diluted based on these ranks. So Nikapo, EPS diluted earnings per share. Diluted earnings per share. So write for me here potential ordinary. Then you write here earnings. So earnings, right here shares, right here one-os EPS. So this one here represents the PAUs, this one represents the one-os. Syllabus surely. Assuming to look at another than normal time. They are not serious. They are just, with them they are competing with SCCA because SCCA wanafanya exams how many times? 4 times a year actually. Yes, SCCA is 4 times in a year. But you see the way SCCA on exam hiyo mtihani yao is different na hii. SCCA unaona vile tunaanza ku compute goodwill, return earnings, LCI, determine the value of PPE, sasa hizo ni required. Lakini sasa hapa
We want to check diluted earnings per share. What do you want to dilute? What do you dilute mean? It's the basic. Yes, basic you unaangalia when these people will join. What will be the worst? Unasemanga aje kwa meme ama FM? Worst case scenario. Itaenda chini to what extent? So you start, before you start a dilution, you say from basic. So you bring basic first, then we check the effect. So from basic, how did we calculate the basic EPS? What was the numerator? What was the denominator? What did we get? Check for me how we calculated what it was. You got 145 or what?
14,575.
11. This one gave us 1.31. How's that one? So that was the basic. So basic is what we want to dilute. Basic is what we want to dilute. So now you welcome them based on the ranks. The one which was ranked number 1, Kujeni. So options. Tell options to join. When options comes, your profit will be not to change. It will remain constant. Then one-ons will increase. Shares will increase by 625. So the new position after employees were made to acquire shares, the new position will be that profit will remain constant, but one-ons will go up. Up to 11,725. So what will be your new earnings? Take this, the new profit, divide by the new one-ons. This divide by this, you get the new 1.24. 1.24. Bring the bonds. They were ranked number 2. So 12% convertible bonds. Powers will go up by 105. Then shares 750. Get new position, get new position. Hmm? 14,680. The other one? 12,475. Get new EPS. 1.18. 1.18. Therefore, diluted should be the least, not the last. It is a coincidence here, our last is the least. Sometimes the least iko somewhere hapo katikati. So DPS should be the least. So therefore, the worst of the worst diluted EPS will be shillings 1.18 per what? Per share. That's the least it will ever go. Agriculture, assuming profit remains constant. Nani yako na swali? Hiyo EPS inakaa ile mnafanyana kwa FM kweli? Iko na story. Wapea assignment? Yes. Imeisha. The question is over. Usingoje question na imeisha.
That's like no option in something. So it's kind of need for me to calculate.
Yeah, of course, definitely. But Gilbert, and you know why waste your time on options? Na utafanyaje hapa? Lakini hapa utasurvive. How will you survive? Yes, please.
Assuming that we have what we call
Preference.
means we have to adjust the earnings by the interest.
By the dividends you're paying them. Definitely. In fact, check for me May 2019. That is your assignment. May 2019. May 2019, question 4B. May 2019, question 4B. Yeah, that question will be very nice. Why it is nice, the reason why I've selected, Najua in this one here, nobody had converted. So all of them were on assumptions. So that one takes a situation whereby, what if there is parts who have converted, the wengine hawaja convert? Yes, so that one. So May 2019, we'll do that. Then I will come up with another question. There's a question in 2014 where students were requested to calculate, instead of diluted, they were asking for anti-dilution. Tuliandika anti-dilution kwa introduction. What did we say about anti, not dilution? What was anti-dilution? Increasing, eh? Yes. So we'll check that scenario, but it's not hard, eh? Ukiulizwa anti-dilution, unaona hiyo process when tumeenda. Everything, hivyo, kila kitu, then anti, unaangalia. Dilution should be on a descending, yeah, it should be on a descending order. So hii tumeona ime decrease from here, hii ime decrease, but inafika mahali kuna ingine instead of decreasing, naanza to increase, then that is the dilution. But we'll do a question of that nature. So we'll do that and the other. So let's meet in our respective classes. Evening syndication.
Yes.
Kesho tunaanza impairments. Kila mtu wako kwa impairment respective classes, ndio. Alimoni hata wako kumaliza. How many questions have you done for impairment? 2. Sikia kwenye wako. Now you know normally what happens, day class ndio wanakuanga wa kwanza kumaliza, wakifuatwa na evening, alafu early morning. So it means early morning have worked extra, eh? Watapata break after exam. Hata utatamani ni ungekuwa shule. Utasikia neighbors wakigombana, unasema sasa nilikuwa shule singekuwa nasikia. Thank you. I'll share these recordings.